Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to week 2 of the high school football season. This is the End Zone. I'm your host, Brandon Dunn, here with you for the next hour to bring you all the action from week 2 as there were games. Not many, but those who played had a fantastic evening on the gridiron. We start off in Class 5A. Just one team here on the Grand Strand has been able to play nearly every week, and that's Carolina Forest. Outside of that, some teams, Conway, Socastee, just to name a few, Myrtle Beach, have yet to see the field. Hopefully, that'll change next week. Carolina Forest, though, 1-1 on the year, coming off that loss over Fort D. At home tonight to take on New Hanover. Second time they've played a team out of North Carolina. First possession, Khalil Johnson finds plenty of running room. The sophomore does the rest. This young man going to have himself a career at Carolina Forest this season. Just the tip of the iceberg. 7-0 Panthers CF off and running. We move to the second. Carolina Forest on the doorstep again. Sailor, the quick feet, follows the Hogs into the promised land. Panthers in the zone. They led 14-0 at the break. We go third quarter. New Hanover going for gold. Isaac Moore with the home run ball, but not enough zip on the pass. Fletcher there for the pick off the deflection. Nice hands. Man, some solid work by the Panther defensive back. Preserves the shutout. Turnover leads to this. Carolina Forest on the doorstep. They march right down the field. Cap the drive off with this 3-yard scamper by Luke Janik. That score put this one to bed. Panthers would add another one for good measure. They win this one 28-0 to improve to 2-1 on the season. They bounce back after that loss last week to Fort Dorchester. Telling you what, Fort D is a very good football team and nothing to hang your hat about. They were able to bounce back. The Panthers were tonight to get back into the win column. Next week, though, is when the fun begins. They'll travel to Sumter to take on the Gamecocks. We'll see how that one plays out next Friday. South Florence taking on Irmo. The best team in the area right now, got to say, is this team right here. They're up 21-7 at the break. Lenora Sellers connects with Johnson for the quick score. Irmo down 28-7. Next drive for South Florence. Sellers, 5 touchdown passes. What a dime here to Singletary. He'll have 3 scores, and it's a 28-point lead for the Bruins. Irmo does strike back. They get a touchdown here. That cuts the lead to 35-14. But I'll tell you what, Trey McWhite, just a man. Scampers in and out of the yellow jacket jerseys to find pay dirt. 2 touchdowns on the night for that young man. And the Bruins absolutely hammer another football team. They win this one tonight, 63-28. South Florence has hung 50 on every opponent so far this season. They are 3-0 on the year. Man, this is a really, really good football team. Hats off to Drew Marlowe and his staff. It took him a little while to get things implemented. He has done that in the time he's been there going into the second season. He said going into this year, he learned a lot from last year about how to handle things better going into this year. And so far, they are looking mighty good. They're home next week back at Bruins Stadium. LUGOFF-ELGIN comes to town. They're looking for a 4-0 start. If that happens, man, they're going to be really tough when region starts here in a couple of weeks, we hope. As of right now, though, that's what the schedule says, is they will be playing region games here in a couple of weeks. Maybe, but the Bruins are looking quite good. Hartsville, home at KELLYTOWN Stadium for the first time this season, taking on a very good bunch from Camden, a ranked team as a matter of fact, and this was a very good ball game. We take you out to the action. Pick it up here. Bulldogs on the doorstep. Best up the middle. Scores for the visiting team. Back and forth we go. Hartsville looking to counter on that, and they do just that. Carmelo McDaniel, man, had a fantastic game last week. Had another one this week. Breaks the plane, gets the score. That dynamic duo in the backfield for Hartsville is legit. But so is this guy. On the pass, the dime. Yet I tell you what, Jonathan can flat run after the catch. He had a great game last week, does it again tonight. Yeah, this football team is legit. Later on, though, Camden with a chance to kind of put the nail in the coffin. It was a tight one here, but this touchdown by Drayton Barr would end up being the one that puts the Bulldogs over the top, as Camden comes into Kellytown Stadium and beats the Red Foxes tonight 43-37. Second consecutive game that the Red Foxes have battled, just came up a tad bit short. They fall to 0-2 on the season. Looking for a game next week, but they're not too far off. That takes us to the Friday Night Rivals EndZone Game of the Week. Ashley Ridge and Wilson. The first time the Tigers have played a regular season game on their new field, and just the second time they've actually played a game on campus. Remember, they did so last year. This was their season opener. How would they do against a team from down in the low country? Let's head up to the PD. Man, nice facilities at Wilson High School. Under the lights, we get action rolling. Ashley Ridge, well, they get the first points of the game. The kick up and true. 3-0 on the scoreboard. Scoreboard is the Swamp Foxes. However, the Tigers answer. Wilson on the doorstep. They're going to run the old jet sweep to perfection. Donnell Williamson, the junior, finding pay dirt. Tigers on the board. They led 7-3 at the break, so things were looking good for the team in purple. We move to the third. Foxes on the move. Xavier Proctor-Floyd with a dime to Malik Freeman. 1 foot down. What a grab. The senior wideout. You don't see that very often in high school, but you did here. 10-7 Ashley Ridge. Same score in the fourth. Tigers need to stop, but Proctor-Floyd delivers the dagger. That score put this one out of reach. Ashley Ridge, they go on to win this one 17-7. Tough night for the Tigers as they fall in their first game of the season. But, you know, every first game of the year is always a big test because you never know exactly what you're going to get out of your football team. There were some good things that Wilson did tonight. There were some other things, though, they needed to correct. They'll get an opportunity to do that as they turn the page from this one and prepare for their next game. All right, my friends, well, Sherrall back in the PD to take on a team from Darlington this time. Last time it was West Florence. The Braves came in that game a little banged up, had though some time to heal, and they came into Darlington looking to reverse course and pick up their first win of the season. Falcons looking to do the same after falling in their first game of the season. So a battle of teams looking for that first dub. And with that, we go to the nest, and here come the Falcons ready to play a little football, but it's the Braves who get the party started. Raw, yeah, She-Raw that is. Jay Brown running around, has no issues, finds the house. 7-0, the Fighting Andy Pools. Yep, coach trying to figure it out, but Sherrall wasn't done in the scoring department. Malachi Roscoe fakes the handoff, keeps it himself, gets into the end zone, and that's another touchdown. And the Braves were playing really good football. Sherrall kicking it off. The ensuing kickoff after the touchdown. Wilson looking for a little running room. Oh, man, he puts on the Jets. Oh, that young man's fast. You're not catching 22. He houses that one for 6. Just like that, the Falcons on the board. They made themselves and put themselves in position after that score, but it wasn't nearly enough because Sherrall would pour it on after that. Braves go on to win this one 42-19 as the Braves pick up their first win of the season. Yeah, you fired up over there, aren't you, about them Braves winning that game? Yeah, go Braves. Yeah, see, there you go. Sherrall taking care of business tonight, getting the win. The Falcons drop to 0-2. Sherrall on the road again next week as they travel to Mullins, at least for the moment. It's kind of been the ongoing theme this year. Things change in a heartbeat. As for Darlington, well, we'll see what happens with them next week. To be determined as of right now. Anything can change, as it has most of the season. And we move on. Speaking of Mullins, first game for the Auctioneers this season, home to take on Andrew Jackson, the Volunteers in town. It's the Auks and the Vols. And it was a good matchup early on. But it's the visiting team that gets in the end zone. Wren, the quarterback keeper, up the middle. That would give the Volunteers a 13-6 lead. More from the road team. Wren looking to pass, dodges a couple of tackles, finds Watts. He's down inside the 1. That sets up another opportunity for the Volunteers, and Trey Thompson, easy touchdown. 20-6 Andrew Jackson. Wren not done. This young man's a pretty good football player. Skips his way into the end zone for another score. Andrew Jackson wins this one over the Auctioneers, 40-14. Auks drop their first game of the season as they will look to turn the tide next week with, as I mentioned, Sherraw coming to town. So what it looked like on the schedule, at least, is that Sherraw will take on Mullins this time next week, and we'll see how that contest plays out between those two teams. Lakeview taking on East Clareton, the 7th-ranked team in the state in Class A, on the road. Man, they've been there a lot this season, and they were there again. Let's take you to Wolverine country, and here come those fighting Wolverines. First play for Lakeview, though. DJ Bethay, Trey Page, touchdown. That connection is going to be deadly all season long. 6-0 Lakeview. Wolverines, though, on the doorstep inside the 10. If we could take you back to the highlights here. Let's re-rack those. There we go. Let's get it started again, shall we? Let's just see DJ Bethay laying one out here for Trey Page one more time. Yeah, and as I mentioned just a few seconds ago, that is going to be a deadly combination between those two this season. East Clareton on the doorstep inside the 10-yard line. They're looking for the touchdown, but Page comes up with the interception, doing it on both sides of the ball. Gets the touchdown and the pick. Following play, though, a little miscue in the backfield. Fumble on the grounds. It's a safety. EC gets on the board, but it's Lakeview that comes away with the win. They take care of business tonight, winning their second of the season, 48-18. Wow, Gators. Yeah, looking good with their second win of the season. We'll see what happens with this football team next week. But after losing to Aner to start the year, Lakeview has rattled off 2 in a row and looks really good doing it. They've got all kinds of weapons all over the football field. Marvin Gordon is good. DJ is legit. Trey Page playing well. Their defense is solid. They're good, as they always are, and they're looking pretty solid again this season. What a week it's been for Hannah Pamplico. The Raiders were scheduled to take on Hemingway, but for some reason, or excuse me, it wasn't supposed to be Hemingway. They were actually scheduled to take on an opponent this week. That got postponed, actually canceled. So HP had to go in search of an opponent. Well, they found one, and Manning, as the Monarchs came to Raider country to take on Hannah Pamplico. And just the second game of the season for the team from Hannah. Senior night, packed house, midway through the first quarter, 18-yard line, Xander Poston, Tayshawn Sellers, touchdown. Yeah, Sellers has gotten some love from Coastal Carolina. He looked pretty good until, I'd say. Yep, it was 6-0 Raiders. Manning, though, they come back. Justin Daniels, quarterback keeper, breaks a couple of tackles, strolls in for 6, finds a little pay dirt there. And just like that, my friends, we are tied up. Jamie Johnson, yeah, always coaching to get his team in line. Under 2 minutes left to go, second quarter. Poston again finds yet another one of his receivers, and that is Cyrus Ellison. Yeah, that young man is just a beast. Ellison would not be denied. 14-6 Raiders. Manning touchdown would put it 14-12. Raiders, though, yep, another Sellers touchdown. They start to pull away. Raiders would go for the 2-point conversion, and they would get that one as well. They go on to win this one as they are back in black. 22-12, HP over Manning. Raiders 2-0 on the season. Both wins, hard fought, and that's only going to help this team down the road. Two old Skeezer rivals meeting again yet tonight. Always a big matchup, always a packed house when Florence Christian and PD Academy get together. Last year was a fantastic game. This year proved to be just as good. The only difference was this time around it was at Florence Christian, where last year the game was at PD. We go to Florence and take you to the action, and there are the Eagles. PD up, though, 14-0. Ethan Kelly, though, getting Florence Christian back into the game. The touchdown there cut it to 14-6. Right after that, Joel Huntley running it in for the 2-point conversion. Yep, we got a ball game, friends. It's 14-8 PD Academy. But Hudson Spivey and the Eagles come back. Talk about taking off. 45-yard touchdown, the longest in the junior's career. Yeah, give that young man 6. PD up 21-8. We move fourth quarter, and here comes Florence Christian. Yep, they're not going to be denied in this ball game. Huntley, not going to catch him. Jules, he's good. Follows his blockers. That's how you play football. Cuts the PD lead to 21-14. Seconds left, Florence Christian airing it out down the field, but it's picked off. PD Academy wins it. What a game. 21-14. PD over Florence Christian as PD Academy goes to 2-0 on the season. More importantly, they pick up a region win. Florence Christian, they drop for the first time this season after winning their first 2 of the season. 0-1 on the year. Man, what a ball game. Couldn't ask for a better one. It always is. Next week, PD Academy, they'll be at home to take on the Kings Academy. As for Florence Christian, they're going to lick their wounds a little bit, and they'll get a couple of guys back, and they'll be ready to roll when they head to Williamsburg Academy next week. But the Pirates from Lumberton began the season last week. Unfortunately, it wasn't the outcome they hoped for and or expected as they fell in their home opener. This week, they were on the road taking on LANEY, the Buccaneers. Well, came out with a purpose. Carson Atkins rolling around, hits the pylon, and he puts the home team up early, 7-0. But that was just the beginning of a long evening for the Lumberton defense. Connor Powell on the receiving end of this pass, and he's got nothing but green grass in a dream. Yeah, that extends the Bucs' lead. Jacob Johnson adds a little bit more to the Pirates' misery. And LANEY having little issues tonight with Lumberton as the Pirates fall for the second consecutive week, 51-0. Lumberton still looking for their first offensive points of the season as they fall to 0-2. Good thing is they have a bye coming up next week, so they have time to fix some things before they start conference play here in a short couple of weeks. So the first 2 games, preseason games, we'll see though how things pan out with a lot more football left to go in 2021. Trinity Collegiate, Pinewood Prep, Summerville, South Carolina, the sites. And here come the Panthers, ready to take on the Titans, undefeated on the season. But when you got a young man named Trey McLeod who can do it all, offense, defense, special teams, you name it, that's the reason this young man's going to Furman, because he can just break off plays like this. Touchdown Titans. They take the early lead, and things were looking good. Panthers, though, yeah, they answer right back. They come down, and they get the one right up the gut, and we have ourselves a ball game. It's 8-7. But then Reggion Bennett goes to work. The Buffalo commit, man, he is good. Number 2 in for 6, and the Titans would pour it on. They would roll up a big one. How about the scoreboard, and how about 74 points? Trinity Collegiate 74, Pinewood Prep 40. I know Coach Amell is not going to be all too excited about the 40 points, but he probably let a lot of players get some PT that normally wouldn't get PT, so that might be a little deceiving on the 40 points. I don't know for sure. I wasn't at the game. I'm just saying. Titans go to 3-0 on the season. Still looking for a game next week, or at least the last time I talked to Coach Amell. We'll see if they can pick something up. I know they've been searching for a game, but right now the Titans are looking mighty good as they remain perfect on the young season.